You know, sometimes there are races before their run. They look like, on paper anyway, about 10 different horses can win. The Met Mile this year was sort of that example. Let's take a look at the field. You had 11 signed on, and it really felt like three-quarters of the field had a legitimate chance of winning. And it's easy for me to sit here right now and say, in hindsight, really there were two horses that sort of, let's be honest, they kind of stood out from everyone else. It's, again, easy for me to sit here and say this now. But you had two horses in Mind Your Biscuits and B Jersey that from a figure standpoint were the fastest in the race. From a recency standpoint, they made the most sense just based on the form that they were in. The question came down to running style. B Jersey figured to be forwardly placed, outright on the lead more likely than not. And Mind Your Biscuits was going to be mid-pack toward the rear, trying to come with a run similar to the one that we saw in the Dubai Golden Shaheen. The rest of the field, you had some quality runners, but they needed to prove that they could run as fast as those couple horses, whether it was a Good Samaritan or a Ransom the Moon or a McCracken. And the other thing with some of these horses, too, that you had to factor in was distance. A horse like Limousine Liberal, could he get out to a mile? A horse like Bolt Doro, the 3-year-old taking on Elders, would this be a positive move for him, going a one-turn mile? Ultimately, it turned into an absolute war between two horses. Down the lane, it was Mind Your Biscuits and B Jersey. Larry Coleman with the call of the Met Mile.
The stretch. B Jersey holding on to the lead after 3/4 in 109.28. He kicks clear length. Mind Your Biscuits is running after him. Limousine Liberal takes third on the inside. Final furlong. B Jersey and Mind Your Biscuits to fight it out in the Run Happy Met Mile. Mind Your Biscuits trying to get B Jersey late. They come to the line and B Jersey holds off Mind Your Biscuits.
B Jersey prevails by a nose over Mind Your Biscuits. They both just put on an absolute show. And they are 5 1/4 lengths clear of the third place finisher, Limousine Liberal, who, you know what, Ben Colebrook, I doubted the move to run him here. I will admit when I'm wrong. Clap of the hands. Limousine Liberal rounds out your trifecta, running third. And fourth, if you really wanted to get crazy, was Discreet Lover at odds of nearly 80 to 1, rounding out your superfecta that for 10 cents came back $514 and some change. Let's talk about the winner, though, B Jersey. He gets it done by a nose over Mind Your Biscuits. He's 5 of 10 lifetime, 9 times in the money from 10 lifetime starts, just under $977,000 in career earnings, owned and bred by Chuck Fipke in the state of Kentucky, trained by Steve Asmussen, ridden to victory by Ricardo Santana Jr., and you can see the pedigree. He is by one of my favorites, if not my favorite of all time, Jersey Town. He's out of a Rahi mare named Bees. B Jersey. I like the name. 109 Beyer speed figure and 130 time form US rating for each of the top two, for B Jersey and Mind Your Biscuits. B Jersey comes home in 23.85, Mind Your Biscuits 23.52. This really did come down to a tactical difference, because if you think there was a scenario where B Jersey took a little bit more heat early, perhaps Mind Your Biscuits can turn the table on him. Because he's able to get out there, and for him, a very talented horse is able to set, I don't want to say a tepid sort of pace, but when you go through and break it down incrementally, I mean, it's not like he was going guns blazing, but he was going at a legitimate clip. Perhaps that was the difference that enabled him to prevail by a nose. Also worth noting, I'm not a big weight guy, but when it comes down to a nose, I have to look at it and say B Jersey at 118 as opposed to Mind Your Biscuits at 122. 4 pounds for a nose, I'll buy into that. I liked B Jersey in here. I thought he ran a bang-up race. I think Ricardo Santana Jr. is one of the best riders that doesn't get the pub that he deserves in the country. And Steve Asmussen, I'm not breaking any news here. He's one of the best trainers in the country. There's really no question about it. What he did with Gunrunner, what he's done with some other really talented horses in the past. You've got Curlin, you've got Rachel Alexandra, and now he's doing with a horse like B Jersey. He just really a tremendous training job. Tremendous training job from Chad Summers with Mind Your Biscuits, considering it seems like he's done his best running at 3/4, at 7/8, and now they pump him out to that mile, and he's right there. He almost gets it down the nose. I think there is a lot on the table now for each of the top two runners going forward. Now, here is where you need to make a little bit of a call on what you think is the overall field here. Those top two were a country mile clear of everyone else. And the third place finisher was arguably a horse that distance-wise, this is too far for him. What does that mean for the rest of this field? I can go through a couple different spots. Let's hope that Discreet Lover is okay. I believe he was vanned off after the race. It sounded like it was going to be okay, but knock on wood, and stay tuned to live.drf.com and drf.com just in general for all the latest updates. Hopefully, again, everything is okay there. Limousine Liberal, I think you get him back to 7/8 of a mile. He'll be much better at that distance than a flat mile. Ransom the Moon, same story. 6.5, 7 furlongs back in Southern California. Think he fits really well there. McCracken and Good Samaritan, and Awesome Slew. Awesome Slew was probably the biggest disappointment of the race. He was just kind of flat throughout, really never offered much. I still think this is his game, though. 7/8, 1-turn mile. McCracken, I hate to say it, I just don't think he's this good. I think he's talented, and I think there are races for him. I just don't know that he's truly a grade 1 caliber horse at this point in his career. Good Samaritan, I sound like a broken record. Every time I talk about him in one of these races, I still think he is better on turf. I've been saying it for months. I think he is a better turf horse than a dirt horse. I understand there is more money to be had on dirt, but I'm at the point now where after this race and after that run at Churchill, if I'm part of the connections, if I'm part of Windstar and company, his next race is on turf. I need to get him back to a surface that I think he can be best suited for. And to me, that's pretty much a no-brainer, in my opinion. It's turf. I think he is a much better turf horse than a dirt horse. One-liner, I just don't think he's quite this good. Bolt Doro, you've got to look at it and say, I don't want to say ruined, but boy, this horse has had a lot of things go against him in these past 2 starts, the Met Mile and the Kentucky Derby. The Derby, I think a tactical mistake was made. You shouldn't have been up there trying to push the pace. You should have tried to sit back and make a run. The wet track, I don't think that really bothered him. His 2 runs out in Southern California prior to the Derby, I thought were both very good. This race was a disaster, and you just wonder, does it take too much out of him? Because you look at the way the pace worked out in this race, and here I am saying it wasn't a blistering pace, but it was an honest pace. B Jersey was out there, and then really you had Bolt Doro and you had One-Liner, and they finished 9th and 11th in a field of 11. So that just makes B Jersey's effort that much more impressive. I fear for Bolt Doro. I think he is still a very, very talented horse. I think he needs a confidence booster, and I think at this point right now, I don't know that it'll happen. But if I had the horse, let's find a race, timing-wise, maybe the calendar is off, and correct me if I'm wrong, or if you have any other suggestions, throw them in the comment section below on the YouTube video or on Twitter at Bernier_Matt. I would run Bolt Doro, this may sound silly, in one of those sort of Midwest races. Run him in the Indiana Derby, run him in the Ohio Derby, one of those races. And if he can't win those, then, you know what, we've got a bigger problem here. But to me, that would be a very good sort of stepping stone. Forget about the Haskell for right now. Try to get a race like that into him, and then if you can build on that, get that confidence back, and then run in a race like the Travers or something along those lines. But right now, if you just keep throwing him to the deep end, I think you're just doing this horse a disservice. He's too talented. He deserves better. It was ambitious, but hey, their horse, do what you want, take a shot. Clearly, we've got to go back to the drawing board. To me, get a confidence booster into him and then try one of those other big races. But until then, don't go back to the deep end because this horse needs to get back on the right track because right now he's going the wrong way. The top 2 horses are going the right way. I think the sky is the limit for both of them. B Jersey and Mind Your Biscuits. Tough break if you're a Mind Your Biscuits fan or you're part of the connection is losing by a nose. He ran a winning race, no question about it. But B Jersey, he wins the Met Mile by a nose over Mind Your Biscuits. Each of them earned 109 buyers and 130 Timeform US ratings.